All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It is so great to see so many familiar faces joining us today. On behalf of the Carbon Chamber and Economic Development Corporation, thank you for taking time out of your day to be a part of this conversation. My name is Kylie Adams Weiss, and I serve as the Senior Vice President of the Carbon Chamber and Economic Development Corporation. For those who I haven't had a chance to connect with yet, welcome. We're very glad that you're here. At the Carbon Chamber and Economic Development Corporation, our purpose is clear: to advance balanced economic growth and quality of life solutions in Carbon County, to sustain advocacy, programs, services for our members, key stakeholders, and our communities. This initiative aligns directly with that mission. We are proudly partnered with the Pocono County's Workforce Development Area because we all believe that meaningful employer feedback combined with the right regional partners can lead to real actionable solutions. The goal of this project is ambitious but straightforward: to hear directly from our employers about your workforce needs and to use that to shape our programs, resources, strategies, and strategies that will truly serve you. Sorry. The process today is about connection, clarity, and collaboration, and most importantly, listening. You'll hear from several individuals guiding this effort, and we'd like to introduce them briefly before we get started. From Pocono County's Workforce Development Area, we have Sam Helen, Executive Director, and Ann Gemmel, Consultant. Also on today's call, we have, and working behind the scenes, are Amanda Track and Ben Wynn of the Pocono Workforce Team, and my teammates from the CCEDC, Jared and Emily Sawillo. Together, we'll walk through the purpose of this initiative, what it means to you and your employees and your business. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. If you'd like to keep your camera on, if you're comfortable, we encourage you to do so, as it creates a more engaging discussion. We'll use the Q&A feature for questions throughout the session. Our CCED staff will monitor and respond in real time when it's possible. And if you have a deeper or organization-specific question, we'll stay on at the end for additional discussion. No one gets cut off. We're all here to answer it all. Our goal is to make this session useful and practical to you and ensure that we have an understanding of what to expect in this process. Before we get started, and to get us warmed up and to allow any latecomers to join, we're going to do a quick popcorn-style introduction. In about 10 to 15 seconds, please share your name, your role, your organization and business, and what is your favorite thing on your desk and why. We know it's lighthearted, but sometimes those small details help us connect behind job titles. Then we'll popcorn to someone else by calling on them. My colleague, Ben Wynn, will be alerting you when your time is up by showing an emoji on the screen. Ben, can you preview that so we know what to look for? Perfect. All right, I will get us started off. My name is Kylie Adams Weiss. I'm the Senior Vice President of the Carbon Chamber and Economic Development Corporation. My favorite item on my desk is a family photo I have from my wedding. It is me surrounded by all of my favorite people. It's a reminder to me also to stay grounded when I need that little extra push. All right, I am going to popcorn it to Stacy Rollins-Berryman.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Stacy. I work for PPL. I manage our apprenticeship hiring, so into our line worker and electrician apprenticeship programs, along with all of our tech and trade and field roles, which typically fall under our union workforce. I have some other responsibilities as well, but for purposes of this call, we'll leave it at that. I'm working from home today. I don't really have a favorite thing on my desk right now, but in the office, I would say my Slinky. I use it as a stress reliever. I'm sure I annoy everybody around me. Thank you. Sorry, I need to call in somebody else. I don't see names. How do I see names?
Hit the people at the screen. It says people, and then a list will pop up of everyone on the call.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'll go with Benjamin Wynn.
I will take over for Ben. He's having some technical difficulties with his microphone today, but he just popcorned it to me in the chat anyway. So I'm Amanda Trock. I work for Pocono County's workforce, and I'm the administrative assistant. And my favorite thing is my Lego flowers. I will popcorn it over to, let's see here, Mary Colleen Bird.
Hi, everyone. I go by Pauline, and I am with St. Luke's University Health Network, and I am a talent acquisition specialist. I have my director as well with me, and her name is?
My name is Jeannie Sensitz, HR Director.
And she's in my office, so the favorite thing on her desk is my desk, and that might be her water bottle. So with that being said, I will pop it over to Emily.
Hi everyone, my name is Emily Sawillo. I'm the program coordinator here at the Carbon Chamber and Economic Development Corporation. My favorite thing on my desk is my desk lamp. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see. I have the blur on, but it just, when I turn it on, it helps me be productive for the day. I'm going to popcorn it over to Sam.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sam Helen, an executive director of the Pocono County's Workforce Development Board. And my favorite item is a little McDonald's toy. It is chicken nuggets that my son left for me as a gift from his Happy Meal. So I will popcorn it to Jared.
Thanks, Sam. My name is Jared Soto. I'm the Economic Development Specialist at the Carbon Chamber and Economic Development Corporation. Favorite thing I have on my desk is that my mom took a picture of a frog and got it framed. So I have it on my desk, and it reminds me of being outside in nature. So I will popcorn it over to Leah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Leah, Power Carpenter. I am one of the systems directors of talent acquisition at Jefferson Health. I also oversee HR compliance for the legacy LVHN side of the house. And I am working from home today, but the best thing on my desk right now is a shell from the beach because I love the beach. Wish I was there. And is anybody left? I'll popcorn it over to, did Paula go?
Yeah. We have Paula, we have Anne, who's planner, and then Russell are
Okay.
3 left.
So Paula.
Hi, my name is Paula Serrano. I work at Westchester Plastics and Niche Polymer here in Nesquehoning. My current role here is human resources. So we are a union-based facility here. So we handle the union. I handle the hiring, orientation. So anything that goes within that HR role. I do have something on my desk. It was given to me by the employees, but unfortunately, I cannot show it because it's inappropriate. But it makes me smile every day. And I'll pass it over to Russ.
Russ, you're muted.
Thank you. Sorry.
Sorry.
And honestly, as this thing started, I was on a phone call and I came on, and just as I came on, I heard Paula talking. So I think what I'm supposed to do is just introduce myself, and I'll say I'm Russ Cody. Nice to be joining you. And I'm with Niche Polymer, which is, I think, in my background, but Niche is one of basically the company that owns Westchester Plastics, and Niche is based in Columbia, Maryland. And Paula's office is just down the hall from where I'm at. And my role is Vice President of Operations, but that's more of a general role, not necessarily specific to this site. But at the moment, I'm at this site, and was interested in joining today to learn a little bit about this forum. And thank you. Oh, my favorite thing on my desk? Oh, I just finished some chicken salad. It was really pretty good.
Love that. All right, and then we have Anne.
Oh, hello. Very happy to be here. Excited to present today and excited to meet everyone. I started a consulting business that helps leaders have confident and collaborative decision making, and I specialize in systems, systems change and organizational dynamics, public policy. And the favorite thing on my desk today, it changes every day, is my mug gifted to me by my cousin from Portland, who was my longtime pen pal back when people wrote letters. We were pen pals since kindergarten, and it reminds me of her on the other side of on the other coast. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. It's a really wonderful group we have here. It's nice to see our manufacturing folks represented, our healthcare folks represented, PPL as well. I know we have someone else joining us in a little bit as well from Lee Heighton Outdoor Center. So we are going to go ahead and get this show on the road. So why are we here? When we sent the invitation for today's program, the goal was simple: to build a stronger bridge between our employers and the systems that support workforce development. We want to hear directly from you about your hiring needs, the skills gaps that you are seeing, and the barriers that are impacting your growth. Just as importantly, we want to understand where existing resources may be falling short or don't yet exist. Your voice and this process will help us build better training, apprenticeship and internship opportunities, and more. Importantly, we know that that's only grazing the surface. That more is exactly where we're really excited. That's why we've brought together this representation from so many of the key industries and businesses, big and small, in Carbon County: manufacturing, healthcare, retail, finance, tourism, and small business leadership, to give us a well-rounded picture of what's happening across our regional workforce. This is not a one-off conversation. It is meant to be the start of something coordinated and responsive. And that's where Sam and the workforce development come in. I am very pleased to introduce and turn this presentation over to Sam Helen, the Executive Director for the Pocono County's Workforce Development Area. Sam is going to walk us through the goals of this project, how it fits into our regional workforce strategy, and what your participation today helps us move forward. As he presents, please continue to use the Q&A function if you have any questions. We'll address them during the discussion and hold anything more in depth for the Q&A after the session. Sam, thank you for partnering with us. And thank you for being here. I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Kylie. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming. I'm the Executive Director of the Pocono County's Workforce Development Board, and it is great to see so many important industries represented in this meeting. The broad goal of the Workforce Development Board and workforce system is to provide workforce solutions to job seekers and businesses within the Pocono region. You're probably familiar mostly with our partnership and support of the PA CareerLink offices, which we have located in each of the 4 counties. Now, the Workforce Board and workforce system is much more than just the PA CareerLinks, and is much more than simply unemployment or certain things like that. And we do have a brief 2-minute video here to kind of introduce everyone to the workforce system and its importance.
What is a workforce development board? A workforce development board is a formal group of community leaders serving a city, a county, or a region that identifies the needs of the local job market, oversees one-stop career centers, and works to coordinate and align workforce development initiatives in their area. Workforce development boards with membership from business, local elected officials, labor, economic development, educators, and community leaders foster high-growth career opportunities to meet the needs of their regional economy. This system exists to help businesses find qualified workers to meet their present and future workforce needs and help workers acquire skills for employment opportunities. A workforce development board is the link between a region's workforce talent and its employer skill needs. They convene industry and their workforce and education partners in real time to impact the skilling and reskilling of America's workforce and put people back to work in career pathways that provide self-sufficiency. Together, this diverse group of leaders helps their community target recruitment opportunities, identify labor market trends, partner on economic development investments, and create resources to benefit all members of the community. Every workforce development board has a plan that establishes funding priorities for their area focused on a broad range of worker issues that consider wages, job mobility, access, and equity. By analyzing data and working with local businesses, workforce boards understand what skills are most in demand and foster the necessary training and credential programs for their region. Workforce boards also use outcome data to advise employers, policymakers, and communities about what approaches are successful. So without your local workforce development boards, local businesses, educational institutions, and other community stakeholders would not have a strong voice to represent the unique workforce needs of your community. So what is a workforce development board? It is a key link to your community's future.
All right. Okay, thank you, everyone. My presentation is going to have 3 brief sections. If you have more information or are interested in hearing more about it, I'd encourage you to look at our local strategic plan, or you can reach out to us directly for more information and discussion. What I'm going to cover is the current state of the workforce in the area, the current state of our business services, and then main drivers that will shape the future of work in the Poconos. Next slide. Okay. So currently the biggest driver of our workforce is the healthcare industry. I see we have some great representation on this call from that sector. Healthcare led by St. Luke's and Lehigh Valley Health, along with a few other major partners. Some of the top employers in the region have over 17,000 jobs, and it's the fastest growing industry in the region. Registered nurses, for example, right now are this top specialized skill in job postings in Carbon County. Other industries that do drive our workforce: hospitality, leisure, entertainment, and outdoors. It's the most well-known sector within the Poconos and accounts for over 35,000 jobs, has many career pathways, and offers experience and access to the workforce for many youth within the Poconos. Now, education as an employer also plays a very important part, as it offers higher paying jobs and career pathways with great benefits. General management and operations has shown significant growth and higher paying jobs through many industries, that it does go across multiple different industries, as well as advanced manufacturing, building and construction, as agriculture and food production. One of the other major industries that has shown its importance here is utilities, boasting both high paying job as well as very large importance to the economy within the region. Now, some other noteworthy items about the Poconos. We're expected solid job growth by 2029 with over 100,000 plus jobs. Exports are sitting at 19.8 billion, while imports at 24.8 billion. And we have over 30 million visitors to the region in 2023, and that was right after COVID and has seemed to increase. Some of the workforce headlines for the Poconos. Right now, we have more retirees and fewer young people than US averages. Also, a large portion of our population face barriers such as housing, transportation, and childcare. We also do have long commute times. As we all know, the Poconos is a bedroom community, meaning many people live here but do commute outside of it for work. Pike and Monroe counties have some of the longest average commute times within the country. So the next item I did want to touch on is some in-demand skills that we are seeing. Now, these are taken from job posting data throughout the Poconos. Some skills frequently in these job postings, but might be missing from profiles, are communications, customer service, Microsoft Office, management, leadership, project management, and marketing. They're not only in-demand skills, but I think in a lot of ways they can be considered essential skills for the workforce, as well as for youth coming into the workforce. Some of the more specialized skills include nursing, auditing, restaurant operations, as well as marketing. Now, how does the Pocono workforce serve employers now? Our board has strong business representation from key regional industries such as healthcare, manufacturing, hospitality, education, and construction. We have strategic priorities that center around employers. Within our strategic plan, we have 4 main priorities that explicitly focus on being employer responsive, engaging regional leaders, improving career pathways with employers, enhancing PA career capacity, and partnering with education and training providers to meet employer demand. We have direct employer services and job fairs. Our PA career staff provides full range of employer services, such as job postings, candidate recruitment, coordination of hiring events. We also routinely list the openings on the PA Career Link website and support businesses with those posts as they needed. We have a lot of work-based training and employer initiative, such as on-the-job training, incumbent worker training, as well as similar work-based programs and training that help employers recruit and upskill their workforce. We also have youth work-based learning and summer employment opportunities, as well as structured employer services with 15 businesses recently with youth workers, while also serving the youth and their needs. We have also built certain sector partnerships, linking employers with education and training partners in key industries. Examples include our work with St. Luke's University Health, Wayne County Workforce Task Force, our work with the Manufacturing Resource Center, and NEPERC to help address employer demands. Now, what are the main drivers of the future of work within the Poconos? One that has come up and is very newsworthy, generative AI. There is a rapid adoption pace, has a major economic and workforce impact, and a large effect on education, and is something that is continuing to change every day. Climate change, with rapid weather and other changes to the climate, these things can affect hospitality sector, healthcare, and agriculture across the region. As I did mention before, we also have a lot of changing demographics. We have a large amount of individuals that are of retirement age or reaching retirement age soon. And we have lower than average amount of workers that are of working age. We have a low percentage of millennial workers. And there is also lower birth rates across the country. And finally, one thing that has changed recently is a major challenge, and that's the mindset regarding post-secondary education. This not only includes students going into a 4-year degree program, but also any secondary or post-secondary institutions that offer training programs. Within the Poconos in 2006, 78% of students were post-secondary bound after graduating from high school, but this unfortunately has declined to 55% in 2025. With that, now before I turn it over to Anne, were there any questions in the chat or anything we wanted to address prior to moving forward?
We didn't have any questions in the chat, so we can go to the next part.
Okay. All right, so up next, I'm going to turn it over to Anne Gemmel. Anne helped facilitate the Pocono County's workforce local plan and process in 2024 and has become very familiar with the Pocono region and the workforce system in general over these last few years. The process that Anne's going to discuss helped build our strategic priorities and plan. She's also done work with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, as well as Philadelphia's Workforce Development Board. So, Anne, It's all you.
Thanks, Sam. Great job. You're so on track with time. And I really want to encourage people to use the chat for questions as we go through this, explaining, what we're about to embark on together. So in 2021, I was trained by a company called Shelling Point to be a collaboration architect. And they approached me after a column that I wrote about how the region needed to collaborate more on an economic development strategy. And they started talking to me about their new way of getting groups aligned. And it really resonated with me at the time. And I've only become more and more convinced that dialogues like this are really necessary, and bringing this process to extremely busy people is essential for region's leadership to be able to shape the future instead of have the future happen to them and then be in a place of reaction or catching up. I really do believe that the future of leadership involves managing disagreements well, and tapping all available brain power in different networks, and also, leading high impact collaborations like this. So I'm a big believer in the process, and companies all over the world have used this process very effectively to design, lasting solutions that are very bespoke to the needs of the community that is doing the dialogue. This process has 4 steps. This is the launch meeting for the virtual dialogue. And I have to say, I'm really thrilled that so many industries, I'm going to echo what Sam said earlier, that we have utilities, we have healthcare. These are major drivers, manufacturing, really major industries in this particular regional economy. It's so important that you're here. We really appreciate the contribution of your time. So I just want to, my goal for this segment of the conversation is to set expectations about how much more time we would love for you to donate. And we do recognize that it's a donation of time. We would love for you to contribute to this effort so that all the public dollars that the Workforce Board receives can be put to the best possible use, and totally aligned with the needs of as many employers as possible in the region. So next slide. So in the first step of the dialogue is gathering everybody's opinion. And we do this asynchronously, meaning everyone can do this at a time that is convenient for them. I am the holder of everybody's opinions. I organize all the opinions. I give everybody the same structured conversation, whether they offer their opinions in a written format or I contact you for a one-on-one session where I gather your opinions. It's the same questions that everybody gets. And the topic is, as I mentioned, aligning workforce development programs and funding with the needs of employers. Getting to alignment on that requires, a full vetting of all the expertise on this particular topic. So any given dialogue will generate hundreds of opinions. Some of them may be irrelevant to the topic. Most of them will be relevant. But if you put 3 people in a room and you ask them to discuss a topic, you're typically going to generate, if you just let everyone list what they think about a topic, you're going to generate anywhere between 120 to 150 opinions, which isn't really manageable around a conference room, boardroom table. But, people still try to do the flip charts, and they still do it that way. But I really believe that this is much more efficient. And after all the opinions are gathered under protection of a non-disclosure agreement, by the way. So, in this dialogue, we recognize that some employers perspectives around talent sourcing, talent retention. Those are proprietary things, you know, that you may or may not be willing to identify your company with a particular opinion or expertise. But this is all under a non-disclosure agreement, and no one who participates in the dialogue will know what anyone else will be able to ascribe any particular opinion to anyone else in the dialogue. What people will see in step 2, they will see a catalog of all of the opinions that different experts contributed to this particular dialogue. So if you could go to the next slide, it's step 2. In step 2, you'll get a long list of opinions that will be organized according to what people think the goals of this alignment should be, what the unintended consequences would be, you know, really asking people to think through, what if we realized your perfect workforce development program for your business? What could be some of the unintended consequences of that? What are the barriers that need to be overcome? And lastly, what are the assumptions that you in particular are operating from? So the opinion catalog will be a list of, like I said, roughly between 120 and 150 distinct opinions. It'll be a list of statements. And when you see this list, you'll have the opportunity to strongly agree or strongly disagree, somewhat agree, somewhat disagree, or just agree. And you'll also have the opportunity to skip an opinion if you don't feel as if you know enough about it to say one thing or another. You can certainly skip any of the opinions that are not relevant to your work or in your sphere of knowledge. So this is extremely efficient because step 1 may take you an hour. Step 2 could take anywhere from 15 minutes to about 30 or 35, which 30, and that's a real outlier for step 2. And we do, in the instructions, coach people to go with their gut, to go with their first instinct. When you read the statement, you know, what do you say? And then in step 3, which is the next slide, you'll have the opportunity to change your mind. Like some people click strongly, you know, they click the wrong thing. And then when in step 3, they may say, oh, well, I can change. You'll have the opportunity to reverse or change your response, but also explain your rationale. So you won't have to explain your rationale for 144 opinions. That would be way too much time for people who have day jobs. Typically, every participant gets between 5 or 6 opinions, or, you know, and sometimes people get as many as 20, and even that is a little bit on the outlier side as well. Typically, it's between like 7 to 12 opinions, where the software that we use has identified areas of misalignment where the group is not in agreement, or there's really dug in minority voices, or there's just like a 50-50 split on a particular opinion about this topic. So the software organizes that data in partially, and then sends it back out to each participant to say, hey, could you tell us more about why you feel so strongly about this, recognizing that you're in the very small minority of the whole group that clearly thought this other way. So step 3 is awesome because it prevents groupthink. It prevents the designers of solutions, which in this case would be Sam and his team, with input from Kylie and her team, about, you know, what are the best programs for employers. That's the ultimate goal of this, like really well designed and thoughtful workforce development programs using public dollars wisely that are actually of high value to as many employers as possible in the region. So step 3, you'll get a peek at where deeper discussion needs to happen. And the input, it's a text box. You can say, you could share links to resources, you could share data points, you could share your, like you could elaborate on why you chose the place on the Likert scale that you did, strongly agree or strongly disagree. You can explain your choice in that. And that explanation really helps Sam and his team and Kylie and her team. It will really help us design. Well, first, it'll help us get as much alignment in the region as possible so that the best programs can be designed. This process, I skipped the video. I would like to show the video just so everybody has like a 2-minute version of, explaining this dialogue and how it's different from other. It's much more sophisticated, much more nuanced than any survey or other workshop that we could do. It's so much more thorough than your typical, what a typical facilitator would do in like a 3-hour workshop or something. But it takes much less time and produces much more value for the whole region, really. Thanks, Kylie. Thanks for queuing that up.
Often, collaboration is frustrating and time-consuming, never perfect. But there is one smart approach to replace the typical options and get far better results sooner for less effort and hassle. Welcome to Shelling Point, strategic collaboration done differently. Based on behavioral science, Nobel Prize-winning insight, and years of applied research, our methods and technology ensure the right people have the right conversations in the right order, in the right way to solve, innovate, decide, merge, strategize with others. No more flip charts and messy meetings. Now it's pure state-of-the-art interaction. Empowered by strategic collaboration technology, quickly measure and see the degree of alignment among your group with artificial intelligence to pinpoint what the group should discuss and in what order, using new methods that foster genuine agreement around the best goals and actions. It works for any sized group from 4 to 40,000, for a group in one organization from 2 organizations across dozens of organizations. Whether they're finding a new future or removing a shared problem, it works in person, 100% virtual, or a hybrid of both. Replace the old ways that rarely worked well with our new, clean, modern collaboration tools and techniques. From thought to action in 1/3 of the time and 3 times the results. Shelling Point. For more information, use the QR code on screen.
So thanks, Kylie. Appreciate that. So at the end of this dialogue, so your contribution today is 1 hour of listening, maybe less than 1 hour because we're running so well on time. And then step 1, you'll either receive an invitation to schedule an interview with me from the planner at the planner email and my email. Both will be on that email. So either an interview or you'll receive a link to submit your answers to the standard template of questions. It's the same questions that everyone will get. If you are really busy and you would prefer an interview, like please, just note that in the chat and I can reach out to schedule an interview. If you'd rather do this at 9 o'clock at night and answer the questions you want to answer that are most important to your company, that's fine too, like on your own time. That's great too. This group is filled with so much rich expertise. The people that are participating in this dialogue are extremely busy HR professionals and operators of companies. So I'm just really excited that I'm able to bring, along with Sam and Kylie, this highly efficient and transparent process to you. So back to the expectations on time, it'll be the time that you will contribute is stretched over weeks. And step 1, you'll have 7 to 10 days to contribute your opinions about the topic. You'll receive, a dozen or more questions, but you certainly don't have to answer all of the questions. The questions are mostly designed to get your brain juices flowing about the topic. And then step 2 should take between 15 and 30 minutes, tops. It's just clicking through on a Likert scale. But the beauty of step 2 is that you are able to see what everyone else thought about this topic. You don't know who said what, but you will get to see like what other issues came up from other participants in the dialogue. So back to the time, another half hour. So an hour today, an hour for step 1, half hour, let's just say an hour for step 2, that's 3 hours. And then step 3 may take between 30 minutes and an hour, depending on how much you want to share about your rationale. That's completely optional. And then step 4 is the data review meeting, which is a fun thing that we will gather in person. But even if you can't make it to the luncheon, which we hope you do make it to the luncheon in the first week in May, either way, you will receive a personalized report that shares all the expertise from the area about this topic and where your responses compare to the responses from the rest of the group. And you'll be tethered to this project as much as you want to moving forward. Of course, the Workforce Development Board is always looking for, employers to stay engaged and keep them looped in to like all of the needs from the front lines. It's increasingly difficult in this day and age because it's like a VUCA environment all the time, so much volatility and uncertainty, driving, the need for employers to constantly pivot, businesses, industries to constantly adjust to a myriad of complexity that's coming out at them. So it's harder and harder for public sector entities that have, a lot of dollars to design programs or to compete for grants at the federal level and the state level. This project will create so much rich data that will help Sam and Kylie and others be more competitive in their pursuit of grants and also help design programs that the Workforce Board already has to design with the money that is sent their way. So this is just such an opportunity for the whole region. And but there's also things in it for you. There's a networking event, there's learning about this efficient dialogue, there's learning about all of the viewpoints from the region. When you look at the opinion catalog and complete step 2, and when you see the results from step 4, you'll really gain so much insight about, which industries are also dealing with the same issues that you may or may not be dealing with or have the same concerns. So the calendar as it is now, and we do build in time to adjust because the dialogue is comprised of participants who are generously volunteering their time. You always have to build in a little more cushion because we're basically relying on the civic-minded, the people who can, really contribute a little bit of extra time in a generous way. This is not your job. This is not your boss telling you to complete step 1, complete step 2. And so we have this generous timeline so that I can gently remind people, 2 or 3 times to stay with us and keep on participating. And then plenty of time for each step. Easter holiday, spring break is built in there. So we let extra time for step 2, even though it only takes, 15 to 30 minutes, plenty of time there for people to complete that. And step 2 is critical because if you aren't able to complete step 2, despite the many friendly reminders from yours truly, you'll kind of be escorted out of the project. And it's not it doesn't make sense for you to attend in the data review meeting, and we can't ask you your reasoning on anything because you weren't a participant in step 2. So step 2 is really, really important. And for this dialogue, you will also be able to invite colleagues to participate in step 2. If you have a friend in a different company, or you would like, someone who's not in the project to get pulled into the project, they don't have to complete step 1 in order to complete step 2. So there'll be an invitation possibility at the end of step 2 after you complete it, like, tag a friend to also submit their responses to the rich list of opinions. And then April 10th to 20th, also very rich sharing. That is really the data that the software creates is very deep. The analytics are amazing, but the reasoning will be so helpful to Sam and Kylie as they work together to design the best programs for employers in the region. So it's a generous timeline, and a lot of time built in for those friendly reminders and a lot of grace given to everyone. So all told, it's from March 9th. Well, today is March 12th. So March 12th, this is the encore meeting. From March 12th to May 6th, we're looking for you to find, approximately 3 hours stretch out at your convenience. And then the data review meeting itself is the fun thing, which technically it's also time, but 2 more hours. So about 6 weeks, if you could find 3 hours for us to contribute your expertise, it would make an amazing difference for the Workforce Development Board to spend public funds wisely and design the greatest programs, and also, really help the whole region, the connecting, workers to opportunity. That's what it's about. So save the date now, April 30th. I'm sorry, I said May 6th earlier. We had originally talked about that, but still 6 weeks of time. April 30th is the launch date. Forget that I said May 6th, please. Hopefully we can edit that out of the video. All participants who complete step 2, we'll be thrilled to see you and excited to share the results from the dialogue, which, really makes room for all the voices to be heard. And you could see, who agrees with the things you said and who is bringing new perspectives to the table that maybe you hadn't thought about. So it's really a process that generates a lot of transparency and innovation, and gives leaders with public funds available to design like really lasting and cogent programs. So I think everyone might be asleep. I hope that's not the case. Someone put something in the chat, like, how is this resonating? It doesn't have to be a question, but I would love to hear your feedback about everything you heard from Sam, from Kylie, about the project in general. We would love to learn more about how is this hitting, how is this resonating or not resonating with you.
I think we can also invite you to turn your microphones on. We have such a small group. So if you have any questions or concerns, or need clarification on anything, we are really, really proud as the Carbon Chamber to be collaborating with the Workforce Board on this. We see this not only as a workforce project, but really going to be setting the tone for the types of programs that the Chamber is able to also facilitate, different programming that we might be able to facilitate, and really use this data to really drive how we as an organization also perform within our communities. So if you have any questions or you want to jump in, I'm going to stop talking and let you do it. Not all at once.
Well, let me ask this, like, are people still, can we count on you to participate in this dialogue?
Yes.
Thanks, Jerry. And I see Stacy nodding. I'm gonna put you on blast to say, I see you nodding.
Yes,
Okay,
sorry,
great.
I couldn't get to my microphone.
And Paula, thank you for that. Okay, great. That's awesome. Is there any reservation that you have that's holding you back from saying, yes, I'm in to this dialogue?
Good.
All right. So the next step is look out for an email. Please whitelist shellingpoint.com. I will email all the participants from the planner email, as well as you'll also get emails from me and Gemmel that will lead you to the Shelling Point software. And it's high security. You will probably have to, it's advisable to create a password, but definitely whitelist that domain of shellingpoint.com. I'll be sending an email to everyone who participated both on when was it? Friday and today. So it's a group of about, I would say 25 or so. And again, it's not too late if other people want to participate. We are recording this, and I'll be available to all the participants to guide you along the way. We can add people into this project that you may think of up until the 23rd or 24th for step 1, but then they can also jump in and just take step 2 later on in the project. So if you want to whitelist shellingpoint.com domain or a website, then it will not go to your junk folder. But you'll hear from us before then, just confirming your participation. And thank you so much. This means a lot for the region. There are literally millions of dollars across 4 counties that really at stake here, and it's just about coordination and smart design. So we can't do that without employers' perspectives from the ground day to day.
All right. Well, if there are no other questions, we will give you back 5 or 6 minutes of your hour today. Thank you again on behalf of the Carbon Chamber and the Pocono County's Workforce Development Area for joining us for this afternoon and for participating in this very, very crucially important project. We are excited to hear what all the data that comes from this and can't wait to get started. Thanks, Anne, and thanks, Sam, for joining us and presenting today.
Thank you. Pleasure,
Thank
Kylie.
you.
Great
Thanks,
job.
everybody.